Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing the Vivo S1 Pro. Now this is the latest phone from Vivo in the S lineup, and this phone is priced at 20,000 rupees. And this phone actually comes with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's available in 3 colors: Mystic Black, Jazzy Blue, and Dreamy White. And we have the Jazzy Blue color. It's an online phone. You can buy it on Flipkart, Amazon, or directly on Vivo's official website. Now this phone, even though it doesn't pack a lot in terms of performance, because of that 8GB of RAM, you'll have a very good or very smooth user experience. So guys, without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. So guys, here's the box. Now the overall box packaging looks pretty similar to the previous Vivo S1 phone, or at least as far as I can remember, it looks pretty similar. We have a big S. At the bottom it says S1 Pro, and at the top we have the Vivo branding. On the top right corner we have the storage information, that's 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. On the left side we have IPL and Vivo branding, and that's the same even on the right side. On the back side we have some of the highlighting features, but I'll talk more about that later, followed by pricing information, IMEI numbers, and so on. Now without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. By the way guys, this is not a brand new piece or brand new box. I borrowed it from my friend, so it's already been opened. Now once we open the box, first we have a smaller box. Let me just keep that aside. Next we have the phone itself. I'll come back to that later. Following that is an 18 watts power adapter. Vivo calls it the dual engine fast charging. Next we have some earphones. Coming back to the box, inside the box we have a SIM card ejector, a USB Type-C charging cable. For some reason Vivo put it in here. Next we have some documentation and a soft TPU case. Now let me just put everything aside and come back to the phone. Now this is how the phone looks on the back, and this is how the phone looks on the front. Now let's have a physical overview. On the back, this phone has a 3D curved fiberglass with pretty amazing colors and a cool reflective pattern. It is not extraordinary, but it definitely looks pretty good. At the center, it has a pretty unique camera module which has a diamond cut design with a quad camera setup. On the left side, it even says AI quad camera. That's followed by a single flash. And at the bottom, we have the Vivo branding, and it says designed by Vivo. Now on the front, you get a pretty massive display with a notch protected by a 2.5D curved glass. Above the notch, we have the earpiece, and below the display, the chin is kinda big, especially considering the price. Now for the sides, on the right side, it is a power and volume button, and the power button also has a different color, which might appeal to some people. These buttons are, I guess they are made of plastic. They have a nice clicky feel to them. They are not sufficiently elevated, but they are not completely bad either. They are kinda okay. On the left side, you get the SIM card tray housing a nano SIM slot along with a hybrid SD card slot. At the top, we have the secondary microphone for noise cancellation and a 3.5mm audio jack. Finally, at the bottom, we have the primary microphone followed by the USB Type-C charging port and the speaker grill. This phone has a thickness of 8.68mm and weighs 186 grams. So guys, that was the physical overview. Initial impressions. Phone doesn't feel all that thick, and most importantly, it doesn't feel heavy at all. Weight distribution is pretty good on this phone. About the diamond design, it definitely looks different, but that's it. For me at least, it doesn't really matter a lot. Now let's try out this case. This is a soft silicone case, and it can give you some extra grip and prevent some smudges, but that's it. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. It has a slightly raised lip for the camera module. It does give some protection, but that's also negligible. Even on the front, it is a raised lip, and it is definitely better than the rear camera. Overall, this case is pretty decent, but I would recommend you to get a better case as soon as possible. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear, this phone has a quad camera setup with a 48MP primary camera with f1.8 aperture, followed by an 8MP ultra wide angle camera with f2.2 aperture, followed by a 2MP super macro camera with f2.4 aperture, and a 2MP camera with f2.4 aperture for taking portrait shots. For selfies, it has a 32MP camera with f2.0 aperture. On the front, you get a decently large 6.38-inch Super AMOLED display with Full HD Plus resolution. Under the hood, it sports a Snapdragon 665 processor with Adreno 610 GPU, 8GB of RAM, and 128GB of storage. Right out of the box, it will be running FunTouch OS 9.2 based on Android 9.0, which is definitely old. Finally, powering this device is a 4500 mAh battery. that supports dual engine fast charging and also comes with an 18 watts power adapter inside the box. So guys, those were the complete specifications. Now let me turn on the phone and set it up and come back to you in a second. So guys, once we turn on the phone and set it up, this is how the phone looks. This is the default UI. Now let's check the RAM and storage information. Out of that 128GB of storage, we get about 104GB of space for our user apps and user data. And out of that 8GB of RAM, we have about 6.52GB of RAM free for our usage, which should be great for multitasking. Vivo usually kills most of the applications running in the background, so we have to see if all this RAM is useful or not. Now this is the about page. This phone is running FunTouch OS 9.2 based on Android 9.2. Now let's check out the camera interface. This is the camera interface for the rear camera and it looks pretty similar to all the latest Vivo phones. By default, it opens up in the photo mode, and if you want to switch to different modes, we have this toggle over here. Once you click it, you get 3 different options. First is a wide angle camera. So if you want to use a wide angle camera to take wide angle shots, you can use that. Next we have bokeh mode, that's portrait mode for the rear camera. And finally we have the super macro mode to take macro shots. Now this phone also has a dedicated portrait mode on the left side, but when you take pictures in portrait mode, you don't get background blur effect. To take portrait shots, at least as of now, you need to select this option. So that's the bug I was talking about. Besides that, we have the dedicated night mode for the rear camera, and you also have a dedicated night mode for selfies, which is pretty rare thing to see in this price segment, especially from Vivo. On the right side, we have the regular video mode, and if you go further, we get more options. We have a dedicated AI 48MP mode. This one has a 48 megapixel camera, but by default takes 12 megapixel pictures. If you want to take a 48 megapixel picture, you need to use this mode. Besides that, we also have panorama, live photo, slow motion video recording, time lapse, pro mode, AR stickers, and Joby. Joby is like Google Lens, but Vivo's implementation where you can search for things using your camera application. Now this is a camera interface for the front camera and it looks pretty similar, once again same as the rear camera, but some controls are hidden. On the left side we have the portrait mode, that's portrait selfies, but even in this mode if you take a picture, you don't get a portrait shot. Instead, if you want to take a portrait selfie, you need to go to the regular mode, then click this button over here for filters, then select portrait lighting effects, and using these toggles, we can take a portrait shot. Otherwise, in this mode you get a regular selfie. Once again, this is a bug. And next we have the night mode for the selfies once again. And if you go to the right, we have the video recording, and these are some more features. Most of these features don't work for front camera, only AR sticker works, and this is a quick preview. So you can take some funny pictures like these using AR stickers. Now these are some sample shots. Now let's test the speaker loudness. So guys, speaker loudness is okay, it's not that great, but it is kinda sufficient for regular media consumption, ringtones and alarms. I wish it was a bit more louder. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up, and here we go. Fingerprint scanner is super fast, just like all other Vivo phones with an in-display fingerprint scanner. It's probably not the best in the world, but it is pretty fast. Probably the second or third best in the world. Now let's test the face unlock feature. Once again, I've already set it up, and as you can see, it is super fast. It's almost instantaneous, and it's even faster than the fingerprint scanner. Now let's test it in complete darkness. And in complete darkness, for some reason, it's not working. Normally, it should increase the screen brightness and try to unlock the phone, but as you can see, screen brightness is fixed and it doesn't work. Let me just try it again. Now this might be a temporary software glitch. Normally it should work really fast. But anyway, in good lighting conditions, face unlock works very well. It is super fast, but in complete darkness, at least as of now, it's not working very well. Maybe with a future update, it might improve. Now this is always on display and you might have already seen it. If you want to enable it or disable it, you can do it from settings, then lock screen settings. You have always on display settings over here. You also get different faces, you can change colors and do all sorts of crazy stuff. Besides that, we also have a dedicated dark mode and you can enable it from display settings. And here it is. On this phone, whenever you enable the dark mode, even some of the stock applications change the theme. So this is the phone dialer and as you can see, theme has been changed. So it's a pretty cool feature. Besides that, there isn't much difference between this particular Vivo phone and other Vivo phones. You get a new control center. If you click this button over here, you get some extra options. And that's pretty much it. Rest of the parts or rest of the features are pretty similar to other Vivo phones. But the new additions like the dark mode definitely improves the overall experience. Now before I conclude, these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let us know by commenting below this video, and if you have any questions about this phone or any other phone, do let us know by commenting below this video and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.